In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to build the model like this one. We're going to use a lot of commands that we are very familiar with because we talked a lot before, and some new commands that we might use in the future. We are going to make almost a symmetry building like this and use Boolean to make a front door and windows. Then we add a shimmer on the top of the roof. Okay, here we go. Let's create a new scene by click Ctrl N. I'm going to make my workspace bigger, so it might be easier for me to work with. So let me go to a window, UI element, and I will make this window a floating window. Then I turn off time slider because I'm not going to use any animation functions, so I turn off the time slider and also turn off range slider. By doing this, you make yourself a bigger workspace. And I can turn on the visibility of my grid. First, let's create a polygon cube. Hit R to scale it up and place it above the grid. We use the grid as the floor. Then we scale the cube along x-axis to make it wider. Then scale it along y-axis to make it longer. Maybe make it taller a little bit. And then drag it up until the button touches the grid like this. Then we go to the history. Click Polycube 1. Then we add subdivision height. Add it to put the number 2 inside this input channel, but I think that's the wrong number. Let's undo it. How about this one? Okay. Add 2 under the subdivision width. Okay. So we split this cube in half. Now let's go to edge mode. By right click my mouse, go to edge, and select the edge on the top of this cube, and then drag it up like this. And you can notice the roof doesn't look so sharp. It's because we have not smoothed the normal yet. Let's select the edge. Then we go to Mesh Display, Harden Edge. By doing this, the roof looks more, looks sharper. Let's go back to object mode by press F8 twice. We can still adjust the scale of this house if you want, but I think right now it looks okay to me. Maybe make it tall a little bit. Okay, let me go to vertex mode and select the vertex on top. Then use W to move the vertex, move them up a little bit, but don't do it too much. Don't do it too much like this. I think that's enough. All right. Let's go to face mode Then we select these two faces. And click extrude here. Or you can go to the modeling toolkit and click the extrude button here also. And here's you should be careful. Don't just drag the blue arrow like this. Otherwise, the roof will look weird like this one. Because both faces they share the same edge. That's why when you extrude the face, it won't make the even thickness. So instead of doing this, let's Ctrl Z twice to go back to the very beginning before we extrude the face. Let's do it again. Click extrude. This time, instead of add the local trans Z, we add the numbers under thickness. You can drag your mouse by left clicking your mouse button above this thickness, left and right, to adjust the number. And you can see the roof start to get some thickness on it, and the distance of the thickness, they are even. This is what I want. Let's say that, how about add like 0.8, right? Next, let's select the face here and here. Let's click extrude again. Now we can drag the blue arrow to drag the roof, the edge, to extend the edge like this. Next, let's select those faces and the back one. And click extrude again. Then drag them out. Let's hit Q to go back to selection mode. And then F8, go back to object mode, deselect it. Alright, so far so good. After a few steps, you build a lot of history under this model. Sometimes the history is helpful for us to give it more attributes to help us to shape the model, but sometimes they might cause problems in the future. So I always delete the histories after I'm pretty sure that's the shape that I want. So let me select the object and then go to edit, delete by type, history, to delete the history here. And I can save this file and name it as class 4 and name it house.01.ma. Okay, that's my habit. I always add a number behind the name to put the version on it, so that I know what version is this model. So now it's the version 1. Okay, and click save. Next step, I'm going to add a front door for this house. Before we add the front door, I want to make sure which side is the front side and which side is the back side. I can tell this by watch the lower left of the screen, there are 3 axes in this work area, and I always use the positive Z axis as the front side and the negative Z axis for the back side. So this one here is my front side of this house. Keep that in mind. And I'm going to use boolean to make a front door for me. So I need an object that will be used as a cutter to make the front door. Let's create a cylinder. It will show up in the center of the scene, and which is blocked by this house. So we can press 4 to go into the wireframe mode and see there's a cylinder in the center. Let me move the cylinder up a little bit. Scale that up. Go back to the solid mode, and let's rotate the cylinder along axis, and then rotate it 90 degrees. Then I go to front view. Click the cylinder. I can go to the history and add more subdivision axes for this cylinder. For example, I can add I can put 40. Press enter to type the numbers into the blanket. So now we add more details, more subdivisions on this cylinder. But I think 20 is enough for me, so I'll go back to 20. Keep that in mind that we use the number 20 because that will divide the cylinder in half, in the horizontal way or in the vertical way. And I want to delete the lower half, so I select the face and hit delete. Now we just get half cylinders like this. If you want to look closer, just select the model and hit F. Maya will focus on what you selected. Right now we have an open space model, which like this. There's a big hole over here, and we are going to fill this hole. So select this object, go to Mesh, Fill Hole. It will fill this hole and make it as a closed object, a solid object, solid model. Then select face, select the face here, and extrude it again. Drag the blue arrow down a little bit to make a shape like a door. Yeah, like this one. Okay. Let's go back to object mode and delete history of this model. Before we use boolean, I'm going to duplicate this model because I'm going to use this shape in the future also. So I still need this shape. I don't want to lose them. But once you use boolean, you will lose the model which used as the cutter. So let me duplicate this model by click Ctrl D and then move it aside to make a copy. And then just place it aside. Okay. And this one, let's go to front view. Let's make sure it's in the center of along the center line. And if not, like this or like here, we can align it by doing the following steps. And watch out. First, let's select the object and hit W. We're going to we're in the move mode and click the axis that you are going to align. In this case, I'm going to click X-axis. Then I hold down X to snap the grid, and you'll see their center changed into a circle by holding X. If I release X, the center becomes a square again. So holding X activate the snapped function, and X is for snap, is for grid snap, and C is for the curve snap. Then V is for vertex snap. So okay. So again, let me click the X-axis, then hold X, then middle mouse. We drag the middle mouse along the center line, drag it, and the model will go to it will go back to the center line and snap on the grid. So by doing so, we can make sure the model is in the center, because this is important for us. Right now, everything I did is according to the space and is according to the center line. Let me move the front door lower a little bit and make sure it extend a little bit. Let's go back to perspective view, and this time we push the model back a little bit and until it go into the house. Insert into the house. We can observe how deep it goes into the house, because the thickness, I think the distance of here, it stands for the thickness of the front door. And after everything is settled, I'm going to use boolean to make my front door. First, let's select the house. Then we select the cutter, which is the front door model. So I hold Shift and select this model, and go to Mesh, Boolean, and then we clicked Difference. Now we get a shape of the door like this, and also we get a wireframe. And this wireframe is the history of the boolean. If you move if you move this wireframe, you will change the position of the door. But I don't want to do this, so let me Control Z to go back to the last step. You can still push the model inside a little bit to make more thickness for the front door. After that, We can delete the history for the house. Edit, delete by type history. Then we clear the wireframe cutter. We need to do some cleanup for this model after we do the boolean, because boolean always create a lot of illegal face for us. What is illegal face? Well, in Maya, the basic shape of the face, of the polygon face, is triangle, like the triangle here. You can always see triangle under the polygon model, or the quarters, like this. Quarters means we have 4 edges. The face has 4 edges. That's quarter. If we got some face more than 4 edges, we call it illegal face. But it doesn't mean it's really illegal. It just means it's not a good shape. It's not a good structure. And sometimes you have to be careful for this, because some illegal face might create some rendering problem or some modeling problem in the future. So how do we clean up this model after we do the boolean function? Alright, we can use the multi-cut tool. Let's go back to object mode first, then click the model and click multi-cut. Use the multi-cut tool. Now we're under component mode, and the multi-cut tool will detect the edge and the vertex, or other edges. So, for example, I'm going to connect this vertex to here. I will drag a vertex or drag the point along the edge by left click my mouse, then drag it to the right until it stops moving. And next, I'll click the edge over here, then I drag the mouse until it stopped at this place. Then I hit enter. That will make a cut. And now we got a quarter here, which has 4 edges. And we'll keep on cutting the face, add more divisions by doing so. So after we add some cuts, we make this illegal face into several triangles and quarters. For example, these 2 faces, they are quarters, and these 4 faces, they are triangles. I'll do the same thing for the left side. Once you get used to this, it won't take you too long, and it will become your second nature. And you will know when you should use multi-cut tool or when you shouldn't. Alright, finish the cleanup. And sometimes I will still delete history to make it a clean model. And by the way, if you want to see the wireframe of this model, but you don't want to select it, There's one way to turn on the wireframe by clicking here, the wireframe unshaded. If you activate this button, you'll see the wireframe of this model. And it helps you to distinguish where you should still work on. Okay. I think the next step, I'll do the windows. Now I'm going to make the windows. Remember the models we just back up? We're going to use it right now. Let's duplicate it again. Control D and move it close to the house. Rotate it along the y-axis around 90 degrees. Let's go to side view. And I'm going to move the window to here. And now I find out my house is kind of too short. So I'm going to scale it longer a little bit. Like this. It looks better. Let's go to right view again. And place the window around here and scale it down to a reasonable size and a reasonable height. Just like the door, we're going to place this window inside the house. Just a little bit. And before we do the booleans, I'm going to split this house into half. Okay. Let me go to the modeling toolkit and click multi-cut. And hold Control, middle mouse button, click it, and I create a center line for this building. Let's go back to object mode. Control D to duplicate this model and put it here. So there will be two windows. Before I do the boolean, I'm going to combine the two windows together. Select the two objects, go to Mesh, Combine. To combine it, there are one shape node right now, but there are still two empty groups. I have to delete the history for the window model to clear the empty groups. Now we got a clean model. Well, this model here is a little bit annoying. I'm going to put it far away and focus on the house here. Let's take a look again. How about go to front view and check the depth of the window? It looks okay to me, or maybe a little bit deeper. Okay, I think that's fine. Okay, let's select all models and clean the history again to make sure everything is settled down and is ready to go. select house, shift select the models, shift select the windows, and then go to mesh Boolean difference A minus B. Again, we got two windows, but be careful, the structure is not correct right now and we have to clean it up. Let me close it. Let me close the outliner also. Let's delete the history of the house because we got a Boolean history here, and if we don't delete history, it might cause some problem in the future. I have to delete history. And here's one thing that you have to be careful. Don't delete the edges before you clean the model. Otherwise, you may get some error surface, and you may not be able to fix it in this file. So first, I have to use multi-cut, and let me connect this point to this point here. Enter, and connect this vertex to this vertex. Connect this vertex to this vertex also. Of course, you can still do the same process again to make a lot of triangles and finish this job like this. But I have a better way. I can select the face here, which is a illegal face right now, and I use edit mesh, triangulate. Where is triangulate? Mesh, triangulate. That will triangulate the face that you selected. So boom, we got 4 faces right away. And let me connect the other side. I'm going to use the same methods. Triangulate. This is more efficient. And now we can fix this edge here. This edge, we should delete this edge by select it and hit delete. Delete the edge. Then we connect this vertex to both sides. One to here, enter. Another one to here, enter. So the structure looks more symmetry. We'll do the same thing for the right side. Again, connect the edges first before you delete them. So here to here. So here, connect to here. This one goes to this one, and that's this one goes to this one. Enter. Okay. Then select this two face, triangulate. Then delete this edge and make another connection to here. Okay, that looks perfect right now. Let's go back to object mode and delete history again, of course. You can turn off the wireframe shade. I don't think we need this model anymore, so I'm going to delete it. But wait, how about the other side? Should we do the booleans again? Well, actually you don't have to. All you have to do is you have to mirror the model. You have to mirror the geometry. Let's go to the front view and make sure which side should we delete. Hit 4 to go into the wireframe mode and check it. Obviously, it's the left side that we should delete because we just create windows on the right side, right? So let's go to face mode, select the left side, hit delete, and keep the right side. Go back to object mode and go back to perspective view. Now we just got half of the house. We have to make sure the pivot is in the center. So let's go to front view to make sure the pivot is on the center line. If it's not, for example, if it's somewhere around here or somewhere away from the center line, we have to align the pivot back to the center line so that we can mirror it successfully. So how do we align the pivot? It's a little bit different from align the object. Now we are aligning the pivot, so we have to go to the pivot mode first. Select the model, hit W to activate the move mode, and then you hold down D. That will make you go into the pivot mode, and you can edit the pivot position. So in this case, we're going to align the pivot along the x-axis and to the center line. So I have to select x-axis. Then I'm going to snap it on the grid. So I hold down X to snap the grid, and then middle mouse button clicked on the center line like this, and move your mouse a little bit, and then release all the buttons. And now you align the pivot to the center line. Then let's go to mesh, mirror, and go to the option box. In this case, we're going to mirror the house along the negative x-axis. So we have to pick up x-axis for the mirror axis and check the minus for mirror direction. So that's minus a negative axis, negative x axis. That's correct. And then hit mirror. We got a completely mirrored house, and another window shows on the left side. But keep one thing in mind. I recommend that you tap a very small number here in the mirror threshold. For example, 0.001. That will make sure the vertex are merged together along the center line. We're almost done for the main shape of the house. I'm going to make more details for the windows. For example, the frame. And I'm going to use the surface we have right now. go to face mode. Select the inside face around here. We can double click the next face to select the continuous face. So keep select until all the faces are selected like this. I'm going to duplicate the face. It's a little bit different from duplicate object. You have to go to Edit Mesh, Duplicate. That's for duplicating components. Duplicate face. So hit Duplicate, and we got another copy for the face we just selected, and it's an object right now. It's a shape node. The pivot is on the center of the scene. We can center the pivot by clicked Modify Center Pivot and center its pivot. Turn on the wireframe mode and we will see it clearly. Let's give this frame a little bit thickness. Select this frame and do the extrude. And adjust the thickness inside a little bit like this. Or type the number 0.35. Okay. Go back to object mode and move the frame out a little bit. Maybe scale it up a little bit also. Yeah, we got a window frame right now. I'm going to duplicate the frame to the right side. And how do I precisely copy it and place to the right position? I can go to the right view. The pivot is on the center line. It's a good thing for me because I can use it to align to the vertex here. Control D to duplicate the frame. Move it to the side. And click the axis that we are going to align, which is the axis. This time I'm going to align to the vertex. So I hit V, I hold V for snapping a vertex, and then the middle mouse button to click this vertex here and drag it. Then the windows popped to the right and snapped to the right place. Now I'm going to copy these two window frames to another side. But this time I'm not going to use the mirror method. I'm going to use the duplicate method and also with the group. First, let's group these two frames together by selecting them and Ctrl G to create a group. Let's call it a group under outliner. Let's call the group here. Let's call this group R frames, Windows frames. The pivot is just right on the center, and this is very convenient for us to duplicate it and mirror it to the other side. Select our frame group, Ctrl D to duplicate it, and rename it L frames. Right now it's overlapping with the R frames group, and I have to make it to another side. if I scale it like this, scale it along, let's see, along the x-axis, watch the number here. If I scale it to the other side and to the -1, like this, it will look just like the right side window frames. So let's do it again. How to mirror it? It's simple. Just select the group and Control D to duplicate it. Rename it L frames. Then we just make the scale X a -1. Enter. And it will go to another side like this. This is another way to mirror the models. Instead of combine them, we still keep the individual models under the group. And I'm going to use the same way to make a frame for the door. Duplicate. Then select the face here. Actually select the object here, but sometimes if it goes to the face mode, the component mode, just hit F8, go back to the object mode and click the model here, and we can easily select the single face, the single shape node, and do the extrude. Add some more thickness. This. Okay. Go back to the object mode. Center pivot. Then let's move the frame out a little bit. Okay. It looks good. Actually, we can delete the face in the bottom because no one will see the face, right? So I can just delete it. Also, delete the face for the frame here. And the inner face here, we don't need them either. Delete. Maybe I can do another extrude for the face here. Watch. This time I'm going to use the different methods for the extrude. Click extrude and drag it out. Then let's click off keep face together. Clip it off. Now every face they are individually being pulled out. We can offset them individually also. Let's put into a very small number, like 0.05. Let's check it. It looks better. More detail. Actually, I should split the surface here before I extrude them. Okay, so I made a little mistake. Let me go back the few steps. Yep. I can select the model and isolate it. Go to the front view. Use multi-cut. hold down Shift and drag a line to split it again, maybe, no, okay, I think that's enough. I split the face evenly. Now let me select the front face here and do extrude. Drag them out, click off, keep face together, and then offset it a little bit. Yep, it looks much better. Let's click off the I select the selection. Now you can see the whole model. Adjust the frame inside a little bit. Yep. Alright. This time I add window frame. I also add some details for the front door. It looks better and better.